The mission roster had 5 names on it. 4 of them mattered. The 5th one had a small mark next to it that meant not important. Reena saw that mark when she boarded the shuttle. She said nothing. She had seen it before on other missions. Humans were always marked that way. The shuttle flew toward planet Dar 7. Inside, 4 alien scientists talked about their plans. They did not include Reena in their conversation. She sat in the back, watching and listening. Orvin was the team leader. He was tall with skin that looked like glass. Light moved through his body when he spoke. His people came from a world of perfect order. Nothing ever surprised them. Miva was a biologist. She had 6 legs and 2 arms. Her eyes could see heat and movement at the same time. She studied living things on new planets. Frell was a geologist. He breathed a special gas mixture through a mask on his face. His skin was gray and rough like stone. He studied rocks and soil. Tessic was the communications expert. He looked like a frog that had learned to walk upright. His people were good at languages and signals. These were the real team. Reena was there because the Galactic Union had a rule. Every mission needed 1 member from newer species. Humans had only been in space for 200 years. To the older species, that was nothing. They saw humans as children who had not earned their place yet. The shuttle landed on DR 7. The planet had green forests and brown mountains. Scanners showed valuable minerals under the ground. That was why the Union wanted it surveyed. Reena stepped out and felt the air. It was thick and warm. She looked at the trees. The animals in them had stopped making sounds. She looked at the ground. Small cracks ran through the soil in patterns she recognized. The seismic readings are within safe limits, Orvin announced. We will set up base camp here. Reena walked to him. Survey lead. The animals have gone quiet. The soil has stress fractures. On Earth, these signs come before earthquakes. Orvin looked at her. The light in his body flickered, which meant he was annoyed. Human, your planet is primitive and violent. This world has been scanned by machines far more advanced than your senses. The readings say it is safe. I understand, Reena said. I just wanted to share what I observed. Your observation is noted and dismissed, Orvin said. He turned away from her. Miva made a sound that might have been laughter. Humans and their instincts. They still think like prey animals, always watching for danger. Can you blame them? Frell said through his mask. Their world tries to kill them constantly. Floods, fires, diseases, predators. It is amazing they survived long enough to discover fire. Tessic said nothing, but Reena saw him look at her with something that might have been curiosity. The team built their base camp. They set up shelters, equipment, and a communications array. The shuttle sat nearby, ready to take them home when the mission ended. Reena was given a small shelter away from the others. Orvin explained that her biological functions were disruptive. Humans sweated and breathed loudly and needed to eat several times a day. These things bothered the aliens. She did not argue. She set up her shelter and organized her gear. That night, the aliens went to sleep. Their species needed less rest than humans. They would sleep for 3 hours and then work again. Reena could not sleep. The silence outside bothered her. On a healthy planet, nights were full of sounds. Animals called to each other. Insects made noise. Wind moved through trees. This night was too quiet. She sat in her shelter and reviewed emergency procedures. She checked her personal kit, the one she was not supposed to have. The Union said observers did not need survival gear. Reena carried it anyway. Water purification tablets, bandages and medicine, a fire-starting tool, a small knife. Basic items that her trainers on Earth had taught her to always carry. Humans are paranoid. Her alien supervisor had once told her, "You prepare for disasters that never come." Reena had smiled and said nothing. On Earth, disasters always came. The question was never if, but when. She looked out at the dark forest. Somewhere in the distance, she heard a low rumble. It might have been thunder. It might have been something else. The ground beneath her shelter vibrated for just a moment. So brief that the sensors would not catch it. So small that the aliens would not feel it. But Reena felt it. She checked her emergency kit one more time. She made sure her boots were within reach. She positioned herself near the shelter exit. Then she waited. The aliens slept peacefully in their advanced shelters. Their equipment showed green lights that meant everything was fine. Their training told them that machines were always right. Reena knew better. Machines could only measure what they were designed to measure. They could not feel the wrongness in the air. They could not sense the tension building beneath the surface. She was not a scientist. She was not important. She was just a human observer on a mission where humans were not needed. But she was awake, and when everything went wrong, that would matter more than all the advanced technology in the galaxy. At 0347 hours, the world tore itself apart. Reena was already on her feet when the first crack split the ground. She had felt the vibrations growing stronger for the past hour. Her body knew what was coming even before her mind understood it. The noise was terrible. Rock grinding against rock, metal twisting and breaking. The screams of aliens who had never known real fear. She grabbed her emergency kit and ran outside. The ground moved like water under her feet. She had trained for this on Earth. Earthquake drills, disaster simulations. Her muscles remembered what to do. The shuttle exploded. A crack in the earth had opened directly beneath it. Fire and debris flew into the air. Their way home was gone in seconds. Reena ran toward the alien shelters. Orvin stood frozen outside his crystalline body flickering with chaotic light. He was not moving. He was not thinking. His species had evolved on a world where the ground never shook. His brain had no response for this. "Move!" Reena shouted. She grabbed his arm and pulled him away just as a tree fell where he had been standing. Miva was screaming. Her shelter had collapsed. Reena found her trapped under a support beam. One of her 6 legs bent at a wrong angle. The bone had broken through the skin. "Hold still," Reena said. She braced herself and lifted the beam. Her muscles burned. The beam was heavy, but she had carried injured people out of burning buildings back on Earth. She knew how to find strength when there was none left. Miva crawled free. Reena helped her away from the wreckage. Frell was in worse trouble. His breathing mask had cracked. The special gas he needed was leaking out. His gray skin was turning blue. He was suffocating. Reena found emergency sealing tape in the destroyed equipment. She wrapped it around the crack in his mask. It was not a perfect fix, but it would slow the leak. "Where is Tessic?" she asked. The amphibian emerged from the darkness, covered in dust but uninjured. His large eyes were wide with shock. The shaking finally stopped. The team stood in the ruins of their camp. Equipment was scattered and broken. The communications array was destroyed. The shuttle was a burning wreck. "What do we do?" Miva asked. Her voice was weak with pain. Orvin said nothing. He was still frozen, his mind trying to process what had happened. Reena took a breath. On Earth, she had been a disaster response medic. She had worked floods, fires, building collapses. She knew what to do when everything went wrong. "First, we assess injuries," she said. "Miva, your leg is broken. I can splint it. Frell, your mask is damaged. We need to find a way to repair it properly. Orvin, Tessic, are either of you hurt?" Tessic shook his head. Orvin did not respond. Reena checked Orvin quickly. No visible injuries. He was in shock. She had seen it before in disaster victims. Some people shut down when their world stopped making sense. "Tessic, watch him," she said. "Talk to him. Keep him present." She turned to Miva. The alien biologist was trying to be brave, but Reena could see the pain in her compound eyes. "I need to set your leg," Reena said. "It will hurt." "Just do it," Miva said. Reena worked quickly. She found straight pieces of metal in the debris. She used strips of fabric to tie them around Miva's broken leg. The alien screamed once, then went quiet. "How do you know how to do this?" Miva asked when it was done. "On Earth, we learn to fix what breaks," Reena said. "People, buildings, machines. If we waited for someone else to help us, we would die." She moved to Frell next. The tape was holding, but he was still breathing too fast. She searched through the destroyed equipment until she found spare gas canisters. She connected one to his mask, extending his air supply. "This will last maybe 2 days," she said. "We need to find better help before then." "The emergency beacon," Tessic said suddenly. It was stored in the shuttle. Everyone looked at the burning wreckage. The beacon was gone. "There is a relay station," Reena said. She had memorized the mission maps. 40 kilometers east. It has automated systems. If we can reach it, we can call for rescue. 40 kilometers. Miva looked at her broken leg. I cannot walk that far. We will carry you if we have to, Reena said. Orvin finally spoke. His voice was hollow. This should not have happened. The readings said it was safe. The readings were wrong, Reena said. She did not say it with anger. It was just a fact. What matters now is survival. Survival, Orvin repeated. The word seemed strange to him. His people planned everything. They controlled everything. They did not survive. They simply existed in perfect safety. Until now. Reena looked at the 4 aliens. Scientists, experts, important people. Right now, they were helpless. They had knowledge, but no instincts. They had training, but no experience with chaos. She was just a human observer. Non essential, disposable. But she was the only one who knew how to stay alive when the universe tried to kill you. We move at first light, she said. Rest now. Save your strength. Tomorrow we walk. Nobody argued with her. Rain fell from the green sky. It burned where it touched skin. Reena had discovered this an hour into their journey. A drop had landed on her arm and left a red mark. The rain on this planet was slightly acidic. Not deadly, but painful over time. She had torn apart a damaged supply crate and made covers for everyone. Simple sheets of metal held over their heads. The aliens watched her work with confusion. You just made something, Tessic said. From garbage. It is not garbage, Reena said. It is material. Everything is material if you know how to use it. They walked through the forest. Miva leaned on a crutch that Reena had built from a broken antenna. The alien biologist was slower than the others, but she did not complain. Her pride would not let her. Frell moved carefully. His repaired mask was holding, but every breath was a reminder of how fragile his situation was. The spare gas would not last forever. Orvin walked at the front of the group. He had finally come out of his shock, but something in him had changed. He moved like a person who no longer trusted the ground beneath his feet. Reena walked at the back, watching for danger. Her eyes moved constantly. She checked the trees. She checked the ground. She checked the sky. What are you looking for? Tessic asked. Anything, Reena said. Everything. Your species must be exhausted all the time. Reena smiled a little. We are. But tired and alive is better than rested and dead. They stopped to rest at midday. Reena found a rocky area where the ground was stable. She checked it for cracks before letting anyone sit down. Tell me about Earth, Tessic said. He was genuinely curious. I have read the files, but files do not tell the whole story. Reena thought for a moment. Earth is beautiful and wants to kill you. That seems contradictory. It is both things at once, Reena said. We have mountains that spit fire, water that falls from the sky and floods entire cities, ground that shakes and swallows buildings, wind that spins fast enough to tear trees from the earth. Miva made a sound of disbelief. And you evolved there? We did not just evolve there. We thrived there. We built cities on the sides of volcanoes. We farmed land that flooded every year. We lived in deserts where nothing should survive. Why? Frell asked. His voice was weak through his mask. Why not move somewhere safer? Reena looked at him. Because there is nowhere safer. Every part of Earth is dangerous. So we learned to be dangerous back. The rain stopped. Reena collected water from leaves and purified it with tablets from her kit. The aliens drank carefully. Their bodies needed water too, though in different amounts. They walked again. The forest grew thicker. Strange sounds came from shadows. Animals watching them. Predators deciding if they were worth hunting. Reena kept the group moving. Movement was safety. Stopping made you a target that as the sun began to set. She found a cave in a hillside. She checked it carefully before letting anyone enter. No animals inside. No signs of recent use. The ground was dry and stable. We sleep here tonight, she said. The aliens collapsed with exhaustion. They were not used to walking for hours. Their species had vehicles and machines for everything. Reena did not sit down. She gathered dry wood and built a small fire at the cave entrance. Orvin watched her with strange fascination. Fire. Your species discovered it very early. It was the first tool, Reena said. Light. Heat, protection, cooked food. Fire changed everything for us. Most species consider it primitive. Most species never had to fight for survival. Reena fed more wood to the flames. Fire kept the predators away at night. It let us see in the darkness. It made bad food safe to eat. Without fire, humans would have died out long ago. The cave grew warm. The aliens relaxed for the first time since the earthquake. I owe you an apology, Orvin said quietly. I dismissed your warnings. I dismissed you. Reena looked at him. Yes, you did. My people believe in data, in measurements, in certainty. Your instincts seemed like superstition to me. My instincts are data, Reena said. Thousands of generations of humans survived because they felt danger before they could prove it. That knowledge lives in our bodies now. Orvin was quiet for a long time. The Galactic Union thinks humans are primitive because you rely on instinct. The Galactic Union has never had to run from a predator. Reena stared into the fire. They have never watched the sky for storms. They have never felt the ground shake and known that death was coming. They evolved in safety. We evolved in war. War with what? With everything. With our planet. With other animals. With disease. With each other. Reena paused. And we won. We are still here. We spread across our entire world. And now we are spreading across the galaxy. Miva shifted on the cave floor. The files say humans have a word for this. This drive to survive against all odds. Stubbornness, Reena said. We are too stubborn to die. The fire crackled. Outside, something large moved through the forest. Reena heard it, but did not react. The fire would keep it away. For now. She stayed awake all night, watching the entrance. The aliens slept. For the first time, they trusted a human to keep them safe. The creature stepped out of the trees without sound. 6 legs, no eyes, a mouth full of teeth made for crushing bone. Reena saw it first. She always saw danger first. They had been walking for most of the morning. Miva was moving faster now, her body adjusting to the pain. Frell was conserving his words to save air. Orvin and Tessic walked in silence, lost in their own thoughts. Nobody else noticed the predator. It was the color of shadow and bark. It moved like flowing water. Only Reena saw the slight shift in the leaves. Only she heard the soft click of claws on stone. She stopped walking. The others stopped too, confused. What is it? Orvin asked. Do not move, Reena said quietly. Do not speak loudly. We are being hunted. The aliens froze. Fear came naturally to them now. The earthquake had taught them what their ancestors had forgotten. The predators circled them. It had no eyes, but could sense them in other ways. Smell, heat, the vibrations of their hearts beating. What do we do? Miva whispered. Reena watched the creature move. She studied its body, the way it walked, the way it held its head. She had hunted animals on Earth. She had been hunted too. It is testing us, she said, looking for weakness. Predators do not attack strong prey. They want easy meals. We're not strong, Tessic said. His voice shook. It does not know that. Reena slowly reached into her kit. Her fingers found the fire-starting tool. On Earth, early humans survived by making themselves seem dangerous. Loud noises. Fire. Eye contact. We made predators afraid of us. This is not Earth, Orvin said. Predators are the same everywhere. Reena struck the fire tool. Sparks flew. They want to eat. They do not want to fight. The creature stopped circling. It turned toward her. Without eyes, it could not see the fire, but it felt the heat. Reena grabbed a branch from the ground. She lit it with the fire tool. Flame caught and spread. She held the burning branch in front of her. The predator hissed. It stepped back. Stay behind me, Reena said. Move slowly toward those rocks. When I say run, you run. We cannot leave you, Tessic said. You can and you will. I am the only one who can fight this thing. You are the ones who need to reach the relay station. Miva knows biology. Frell knows geology. Tessic knows communications. Orvin knows how to lead. I am just an observer. I am the one you can afford to lose. She did not wait for them to argue. She stepped toward the predator. The creature was confused. Prey did not walk toward danger. Prey ran. Prey screamed. Prey showed fear. Reena showed nothing. She kept her breathing steady. Her heart beat fast, but she did not let it show on her face. She had learned this on Earth. Animals could smell fear. If you did not feel it, they could not find it. Go, she said to the others. Now, they moved toward the rocks. The predator noticed. Its head swung toward them. Reena shouted. The sound was loud and harsh. She waved the burning branch. The creature turned back to her. That is right, she said. Look at me. I am the threat here. I am the thing you should be afraid of. The predator charged. Reena did not run. She planted her feet and swung the fire. The branch hit the creature across its face. It screamed and pulled back. Hot pain spread across her shoulder. One of its claws had caught her. Blood soaked through her shirt. She ignored it. Pain was information. It told her she was still alive. The predator circled again. More careful now. Reena had heard it. That changed things. She was not easy prey. She was a fighter. She grabbed another branch and lit it. 2 fires now. She swung them in patterns that the creature could not predict. Come on, she said. Try again. See what happens. The predator made a sound deep in its throat. Then it turned and ran back into the forest. Reena stood still until she could no longer hear it moving. Then her legs gave out. She fell to her knees. The aliens ran back to her. Tessic reached her first. You are hurt, he said. I noticed. Reena looked at her shoulder. The cut was deep but clean. I need bandages. In my kit. Miva took the kit with shaking hands. She had studied alien biology her entire life, but she had never treated a wound before. On her world, machines did that. Tell me what to do, she said. Reena walked her through it. Clean the wound. Apply pressure. Wrap it tight. Simple steps that humans learned as children. When it was done, Mevis sat back. You fought that thing. Alone. You made it run away. It was not brave, Reena said. It was math. I calculated that showing aggression would work better than running. I was right. Math. Orvin stared at her. You risked your life on math. I risk my life on math every day. Reena slowly got to her feet. Every human does. We calculate odds constantly. Can I make this jump? Can I survive this fall? Can I fight this enemy? It is how we live. She started walking again. After a moment, the others followed. Nobody called her disposable anymore. On the 3rd day, Frell stopped breathing. They were crossing a rocky field when it happened. One moment he was walking. The next moment he collapsed. His gray body hit the ground hard. Reena reached him first. She pressed her ear to his chest. Nothing. His heart had stopped. His mask was empty. The gas had run out hours ago. And he had said nothing. No, she said. No, no, no. She had seen death before. On Earth, in disasters, she had held people while they died. But she had never accepted it easily. He is gone, Orvin said. His voice was flat. We should continue. He is not gone. Reena was already working. She tore open her kit. She had read about Frell's species in the mission files. Their biology, their needs, their weaknesses. His cells can survive without oxygen for several minutes, she said. Longer than humans. If I can get air into his system, his heart might restart. You are not a doctor, Mevis said. I know. Reena pulled out a small container. But I am a human. We do impossible things when we have no choice. She cut her own arm. Blood flowed out, red and warm. The others stared in horror. Human blood carries oxygen, Reena explained. She worked as she talked. Not much. Not enough for a human. But Frell's species needs less. If I can get my blood into his system, it might keep his brain alive long enough for me to restart his heart. That is insane, Tessic said. Yes. Reena found a medical tube in the destroyed equipment they had been carrying. She connected it between her arm and a vein in Frell's neck. It is completely insane. It should not work. But on Earth, we learned that sometimes insane ideas are the only ideas that work. Her blood flowed into Frell's body. She felt herself growing weak. Dizzy. She ignored it. She placed her hands on Frell's chest. She pressed down hard. Once. Twice. 3 times. A rhythm she had learned in training. Come on, she said. Come back. Nothing happened. She pressed harder. Her arms burned. Her vision blurred. She was losing too much blood. Reena, stop, Orvin said. You will kill yourself. Then I will die trying. She did not stop. Humans do not give up. We do not accept death when there is any chance of life. We fight. We always fight. She pressed again and again. Her body screamed at her to stop. She told it to be quiet. Frell's chest moved. She pressed again. His body jerked. Then his eyes opened. He gasped. Air rushed into his lungs. It was not the right air. It was painful and strange. But it was something. Reena disconnected the blood tube. She wrapped her arm quickly before she could lose more. Then she collapsed beside Frell. For a long moment, nobody spoke. You saved him, Miva said. Her voice was full of wonder. With your own blood. That should not be possible. It should not, Reena agreed. She was crying. She did not know when she had started. But he is alive. That is what matters. Tessic knelt beside her. His large eyes were wet too. On my world, we have an old story about beings called the carriers. They bear the weight of others across impossible distances. They give pieces of themselves so that others may live. It is just a story, Reena said. All stories come from somewhere. Tessic helped her sit up. Perhaps they come from species like yours. Species that the rest of the galaxy never understood. Frell was breathing steadily now. His body was adjusting. He would need proper medical care soon, but he would survive long enough to reach the relay station. Orvin knelt in front of Reena. The light in his crystalline body had changed. It was softer now, warmer. I have been part of the Galactic Union for 200 years, he said. I have served on dozens of missions. I have worked with species from across the galaxy. None of them would have done what you just did. They would have, Reena said, if they had no other choice. No, Orvin shook his head. They would have calculated the odds. They would have decided that one life was not worth the risk. They would have moved on. Then they were wrong. Yes, they were. Orvin paused. We were. He looked toward the horizon. In the distance, Reena could see a small structure on a hill. The relay station. They were close now. Can you walk? Orvin asked. Reena tried to stand. Her legs shook. Her vision swam. She had lost a lot of blood. I can try, she said. Tessic moved to her side. He put her arm over his shoulder. Miva took her other arm, balancing on her good leg. Then we will help you, Tessic said. The way you have helped us. They moved forward together. Slowly, painfully, but together. The relay station grew closer with every step. For the first time since the earthquake, Reena let herself hope. A ravine stood between them and survival. 20 meters of empty air. Sharp rocks at the bottom. No bridge. No way around. Reena looked at it for a long time. Behind her, the team waited. Frell was barely conscious. Miva could not jump. Tessic and Orvin were strong, but not strong enough to leap that distance. We will find another path, Orvin said. There is no time. Reena pointed at the sky. Dark clouds were forming. The green color was turning purple. That is a storm. Acid rain, probably worse than before. If we're caught in the open, we die. She looked at the wreckage they had been carrying. Cables, fabric, metal poles, broken equipment, garbage to most species, material to humans. I can build a bridge, she said. From that, Miva stared at the pile. Impossible. Probably. Reena was already working, but probably is not definitely. On Earth, we build impossible things all the time. We have buildings that touch the clouds, bridges that cross oceans, tunnels through mountains. We do it because we have to. She tied cables together. She tested each knot. She had learned this as a child in the mountains of Earth. Her grandmother had taught her to make rope bridges over rivers. I need everyone to help, she said. Orvin, hold this end. Tessic, help me stretch the cables. Miva, check my knots. 4 eyes are better than 2. They worked together. For the first time, the aliens followed her instructions without question. They had learned to trust her with their lives. The bridge took shape. It was ugly. It was crude, but it was strong. It will hold, Reena said. She was not certain. She was never certain. But certainty was a luxury humans had never been able to afford. Tessic went first. He was the lightest. He crawled across the cables, his hands gripping tight. The bridge swayed but held. When he reached the other side, he shouted with joy. Miva went next. Reena helped her onto the cables. The injured alien moved slowly, carefully. Every movement hurt, but she did not stop. She had learned something from a human. Giving up was not an option. Frell was still too weak to cross alone. Reena tied a harness around him and connected it to the bridge cables. Orvin and Tessic pulled from opposite ends while she guided him across. When Frell reached the other side, only Reena and Orvin remained. Go, Reena said. You are heavier. I need to anchor the bridge from this side. Orvin stepped onto the cables. The bridge creaked. Reena braced herself against a rock and held the ropes with all her strength. Halfway across, a cable snapped. The bridge twisted. Orvin grabbed the remaining cables and hung in the air. Below him, the ravine waited. Hold on, Reena shouted. She pulled harder. Her muscles screamed. The wound on her shoulder reopened. Blood soaked through her bandage. She did not let go. Orvin climbed. Hand over hand. Slowly, the bridge shook with every movement. More cables were breaking. Reena felt her grip slipping. Her hands were wet with blood and sweat. She could not hold much longer, but she did not let go. Orvin reached the other side. He fell onto solid ground. Safe. The bridge collapsed behind him. Reena stood alone on the wrong side of the ravine. 20 meters of empty air between her and the others. Reena, Tessic shouted. We will find another way. Reena looked at the relay station. So close. She looked at the storm clouds. Getting closer. She looked at the gap. She had jumped far before. Not this far, but far. She stepped back. She counted her breaths. She remembered every long jump she had ever made. Every time she had pushed her body beyond its limits. Then she ran. Her feet hit the edge. She leaped. For one moment, she flew. She did not make it all the way across, but she made it far enough. Her hands caught the edge of the cliff. Her fingers dug into rock. She hung there, half her body over the ravine. Orvin grabbed her arm. Tessic grabbed the other. Together, they pulled her up. She lay on the ground, breathing hard. Then she started laughing. You are insane, Orvin said. I know, Reena said. All humans are. They reached the relay station minutes before the storm hit. Tessic activated the emergency beacon. Within hours, rescue ships appeared in the sky. Later, at the official debriefing, Orvin submitted his report. Reena was not allowed to see it until the hearings were over. When she finally read it, one section stood out. The human observer was classified as non-essential personnel. This classification was incorrect. Without her, the entire team would have died. Her actions demonstrated capabilities that the Galactic Union does not measure or value. Instinct, adaptability, the willingness to sacrifice. These are not primitive traits. They are advanced survival mechanisms that our species have forgotten or never developed. The report ended with a recommendation. Humans should be reclassified from observer status to essential personnel. They were designed by their world to fail. Instead, they carry others to survival. This is their gift. The galaxy should learn from it. 1 year later, Reena stood on the bridge of a survey ship. Her team. She looked at the mission roster. 5 names. None of them had marks that meant not important. Miva was there. Frell was there. Tessic was there. Even Orvin, who had requested a transfer to serve under her. They were going to a new planet. A dangerous one, full of earthquakes and predators and storms. They were not afraid. They had a human leading them. And humans did not accept failure. They carried everyone forward, no matter the cost. That was what they were made for.